Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐵.
Good evening aspirants, welcome to the Hindu News Analysis discussion brought to you by ForumIAS for the date 31st of July 2023. These are the list of news articles for today's discussion. We will be covering 5 topics, each from governance, science and technology, polity and a topic from internal security. Alongside this, we will also be covering 2 previous year prelims questions at the end of the discussion. So with this, straight away let us move to our first article. First topic, Ministry doubts app's numbers on case of manual scavenging. See, the data on Swachhata Abhiyan app of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has identified that 6,235 cases of manual scavenging in India. But the ministry says it is not sure if the numbers are true and authentic. So taking this news, we are going to discuss about the practice of manual scavenging in India, covering mains and prelims angle. First, let us know the meaning of manual scavenging. See, manual scavenging is defined as the removal of human excreta from public streets, dry latrines, or even involvement in cleaning septic tanks and sewers, or comes under the definition of manual scavenging. Know that the International Labour Organization distinguishes 3 forms of manual scavenging. First is removal of human excrement from public streets and dry latrines, then cleaning septic tanks, and then cleaning sewers. Now let us know what is the extent of manual scavenging in India. Although the practice was banned under the Prohibition of Employment of Manual Scavengers Act of 2017, this inhuman exercise is still prevailing. According to the government data, more than 90% of manual scavengers are from scheduled caste community. The breakdown of numbers reveal that nearly 42,594 manual scavengers belong to SC, while 421 belong to ST and 431 manual scavengers belongs to OBC community. However, the number may be grossly underreported because even the socio-economic caste census of 2011 identified nearly 180,000 manual scavengers without including data from urban India. And it says the highest numbers of them are from rural Maharashtra. Then the Safai Karamchari Andolan estimates the numbers of manual scavengers to be around 1.2 million. So these are the data which moreover are contradictory to each other. Now let us see the need to eliminate manual scavenging. First is the dehumanizing activity. See, Article 21 of the Constitution guarantees right to life with dignity. The practice of manual scavenging lowers an individual's self-esteem in society and it is considered as a dehumanizing activity. So that is why we need to eliminate manual scavenging. Then second point is that this practice of manual scavenging emboldens the concept of purity and pollution. See, caste structure continues to reinforce inequality as a basic value based on the concept of purity and pollution. The allocation of labor is one of its prime manifestation. So that is why we say eliminating manual scavenging is important, because this practice emboldens the concept of purity and pollution. Then the third thing is that manual scavenging is against equality. See, Dalits often face discrimination when seeking employment in other aspects apart from traditional roles. Continuance of manual scavenging further creates barriers for them and impedes their mobility. Then the fourth concerns is regarding the health concerns. Manual scavenging can have severe health consequences, including like headaches, respiratory and skin diseases. And even carbon monoxide poisoning happens due to exposure to human excreta and harmful gases such as hydrogen sulfide and methane. Also, the health issues are aggravated due to malnutrition and lack of access to healthcare. Know that these sanitation workers rarely have any personal protective equipments, making them susceptible to the poisoning gases in the pits. According to Safai Karamchari Andolan, at least 472 people have died cleaning human excreta during the last 5 years. Then another need to eliminate manual scavenging is that India has committed to various international agreements. See, India is party to UN Declaration on Human Rights, Convention to eliminate all forms of discrimination against women, etc., which prohibits the continuance of a manual scavenging practice. Now let us know what steps have been taken towards the elimination of manual scavenging. First is the Prohibition of Employment of Manual Scavengers Act of 2013. See, this law intends to eliminate insanitary latrines and prohibits employment as manual scavengers. It also prohibits hazardous manual cleaning of sewers and septic tanks. The second step is the Prevention of SC/ST Atrocities Act of 1989. It became an integrated guard for sanitation workers, as more than 90% of people employed as manual scavengers belong to SC. This became an important landmark to free manual scavengers from designated traditional occupations. Then the third thing is the self-employment scheme for rehabilitation of manual scavengers. This scheme was launched by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and it aims to rehabilitate manual scavengers and their dependents in an alternate occupation. Then there was a Supreme Court order in the year 2014. This order made it mandatory for the government to identify all those who died in the sewage work since 1993. And after identifying, the government should provide rupees 10 lakh each as a compensation to their family. Then there is another commission named National Commission for Safai Karamcharis, which was a statutory body established under the National Commission for Safai Karamcharis Act of 1993. The main aim of the commission was to promote and safeguard the rights of manual scavengers. Then there is an institutional mechanism, National Safai Karamchari Finance and Development Corporation. It is building capacity at the local government level and providing mechanized desludging trucks and financial assistance to sanitation workers. Then if we take the Swachh Bharat mission, it led to construction of toilets with on-site sanitation systems like septic tanks and pits. And then there is one more scheme, which is the AMRUT, that is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. It has led to the development of infrastructure such as sewerage networks, sewerage treatment plants across 500 cities. Next comes the Swachhta Abhiyan app, which was mentioned in the article. See, Swachhta is the official platform for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, built in partnership with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This app enables a citizen to post a civic related issue. Example, public toilets not cleaned or garbage dumps can be posted in a platform by citizens, which is then forwarded to the city corporations and its officials, and thereafter it is assigned to the sanitary inspector of particular ward. Know that this app serves as an effective digital tool enabling citizens to play an active role in Swachhta, and thereby it increases accountability on the part of urban local bodies in ensuring clean and inclusive governance. That is all about the app that is mentioned in the article. As a conclusion to this topic, we can say since manual scavenging is regarded as inhuman and violation of the basic human rights, we have to end this practice. For that, we need collaborative efforts of government, civil society and every individual. Only then we can help better integration of Dalits in the society and reduce the extent of discrimination faced by them. So that is all about the article. So from this article, we saw about the definition of manual scavenging, the need to eliminate manual scavenging and the steps taken by the government. So with this, let us close this topic here and move to the next topic. Second topic, PSLV puts 7 satellites in orbit, 4 more missions this year. See, recently the Indian Space Research Organization successfully launched PSLV C-56. This launch vehicle carried Singapore's DS-SAR and 6 other satellites. See, DS-SAR satellite has been developed under a partnership between DSTA, which represents the government of Singapore, and with the ST Engineering. The satellite carries a synthetic aperture radar payload which got developed by Israel Aerospace Industries. And once operational, the DS-SAR will support the satellite imagery requirements of various agencies within the Singapore government. If we take 6 other satellites, the 6 satellites are Velox AM, which is a 23 kg technology demonstration microsatellite. Then if we take Arcade, it is an experimental satellite. Scoop 2 is a nano satellite with technology demonstrator payload. And if we take New Lion by New Space, it is an advanced nano satellite that enables seamless IoT connectivity, which is the Internet of Things connectivity in both urban and remote locations. Then Galaxia 2 is a nano satellite that sets to orbit at low Earth orbit. And know that Orb-2 Strider is a satellite that is developed under international collaboration. Now let us see few facts about PSLV launch vehicle, and then let us also know about a GSLV. If we take PSLV, this launch vehicle is used to launch low Earth orbit satellites into polar and sun synchronous orbits. It has 4-stage system comprising a combination of solid and liquid fueled rocket stages. Know that PSLV does not use cryogenic fuel. It also has lower load capacity when compared with GSLV, as PSLV can put 1750 kg of payload to sun synchronous orbit, and it can put a load of 1425 kg in sub-GTO, that is the sub-geotransfer orbit. Then if we take GSLV, GSLV is used to launch satellites and other space objects in geosynchronous transfer orbit. Know that GSLV has 3-stage launch system with strap-on motors. Unlike PSLV, GSLV uses cryogenic engine in the 3rd stage, and this engine uses liquefied oxygen and hydrogen as a fuel. Then know that GSLV has greater load capacity when compared to PSLV, as GSLV can put a payload of up to 2500 kg in GTO and 5 tons in low Earth orbit. So that is all about the difference between GSLV and PSLV. So from this article we saw about the recent launch of ISRO, then about the 6 satellites that were carried by the PSLV C-56 launch vehicle. Then we saw about the difference between PSLV and GSLV. So with this, let us close this topic and move to the next topic. Third topic, despite age ratings, film censorship continues to stay. The news reports that the Cinematograph Bill of 2023 introduces graded age ratings for movies. Thereby, it helps parents decide whether to let their children watch a film unaccompanied. So from exam point of view, we will know what is CBFC and the objectives, as well as the increasing role of CBFC beyond the traditional jurisdiction. With that, let us also see about the draft Cinematograph Bill 2021, which was in news recently. CBFC, it stands for Central Board of Film Certification. See, Central Board of Film Certification is a statutory body, that is, the board is established under a law made by the Parliament, and they function under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Know that this board's function is to regulate the public exhibition of films under the provisions of Cinematograph Act of 1952. That is, they will check the films before they are released in theatres and screened to the public. They ensure that age-appropriate content is provided to the audience who come and watch the movies in theatre. To be precise, CBFC tells the audience how this movie is featured. That is, about the nature of violence, sexual content and abusive language if they are used in the movies. The board members will be knowing it, as any movie before screening to the public should be shown to the CBFC members. And know that films can be publicly exhibited in India only after they have been certified by this CBFC board. See, the board consists of non-official members and a chairman, all of whom are appointed by the central government, and they all function with headquarters in Mumbai. Also, it has 9 regional offices, one each at Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, Thiruvananthapuram, Hyderabad, New Delhi, Cuttack and Guwahati. And these regional offices are assisted by advisory panels for verifying the films before release. The members of the panel are nominated by the central government for a period of 2 years. Most importantly, you have to know that the certification process is done based on the provisions of Cinematograph Act 1952, the Cinematograph Rules 1983 and the guidelines issued by the central government. According to these provisions, at present, films are certified under 4 categories. They are U, UA, A and S categories. U stands for Unrestricted Public Exhibition. Unrestricted public exhibition, but with a word caution. That is, it signals parental discretion for children below 12 years. That is what you call U bar A. A category means films that are restricted to adults. Only adults above 18 years of age can watch it. Films certified as A will have more violent and sexual content, so its access is restricted. If we take the S category, films restricted to any special class of persons are called S category. Using these certifications, the CBFC can ask the directors of the film to remove certain violent, sexual and content with abusive languages so that they could get U or U bar A certifications. This is because U or U bar A certifications will have a larger audience, and so there will be higher profit for the filmmaker. By this way, the CBFC will bring down the contents that promote violence or sexual abuse and abusive language. Here, beyond regulating the violence or sexual contents and use of abusive language, the CBFC has extended its jurisdiction. That is, it has extended its scope of regulation. Because nowadays, CBFC is also more concerned about the integrity of the states and having a good relationship with the foreign nations. Going beyond that, it is asking the filmmakers to remove references to government authorities like the use of words Prime Minister in the film. And moreover, if the filmmakers are not satisfied with the certifications or proposals by the CBFC members, filmmakers now cannot even approach an appellate tribunal. Because in the year 2021, Film Certification Appellate Tribunal was also abolished. So if there is any dissatisfaction with the orders of CBFC, the filmmakers have to approach the high courts now. We know, right, how long it takes to get a final judgment in a court. Let's see about the provisions of Draft Cinematograph Bill 2021 in short. First of all, you have to know about 2 committees that deals with film certification and freedom of expression. They are Justice Mukul Mutkal Committee of 2013 and Shyam Banegal Committee of 2016. Only based on these 2 committee recommendations, the bill was drafted. See, Section 5B in the Cinematography Act deals with the guidance in certifying films. Such provision is based on the Article 19, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, which deals with reasonable restrictions of freedom of speech and expression. Know that under the draft bill, the Union government can order for re-examination of an already certified film if there is any complaint about the film. So this means the certification provided by CBFC before screening the movie in a theatre is not final and they are subjected to future complaints. This is said to be violation of Section 5B of the Cinematograph Act of 1952. In addition to it, the Union government also has the power to reverse the decision of the board. That is, Union government will have the power to reverse the decision taken by CBFC. So here the critics say that power of the statutory board is undermined because of such political interventions in film certification. And moving forward, the bill proposed for subdivision of existing UA category. The provisions related to U bar A certification category are said to be amended so that subdivision of the existing U bar A category are done into age-based categories like U bar A 7+, U bar A 13+, U bar A 16+. This is more specific in giving age-appropriate content to the public. Because of the increase in role of political executives in film certification, critics argue that free flow of information will be restricted in our country. Secondly, the film industry in India runs on profit motive, right? If there are unwanted interventions from the government, it will affect the ease of doing business in the country. In addition, it will also restrict the creativity of filmmakers and actors. These are the areas that need to be reformed so that Article 19 of 1, which grants freedom of speech and expression, can be ensured to the public along with the necessary intervention of CBFC. So CBFC can also reduce the violent, sexual, abusive contents in the movies. So that is all about the article here. In this article, we saw about CBFC and also about the provisions of Draft Cinematograph Bill that was in news recently. With this, let us close the topic here. Fourth topic, coordinated disruptions lower dignity of house, says Birla. While inaugurating a new building of the Assam Legislative Assembly in Guwahati, the Lok Sabha Speaker said coordinated and designed disruptions lower the dignity of the proceedings of House. So from this context, let us know about the role of Speaker of Lok Sabha from exam point of view. See, India is a parliamentary democracy where parliamentary proceedings are headed by Speaker in the Lok Sabha. A parliamentary democracy is a system of government in which citizens elect representatives to a legislative parliament to make necessary laws and decisions for the country. In a parliamentary democracy, the speaker represents the dignity and freedom of the house and the country's freedom and liberty. So now let us see the role and functions of Speaker of Lok Sabha in parliamentary democracy. First is to ensure smooth proceedings of the house. The Speaker presides over the meetings of Lok Sabha and conducts its proceedings. He also presides over the joint sitting of two houses of the Parliament. Therefore, it enables Parliament to successfully carry over the debates and passage of important laws. So, first, ensuring smooth proceeding of the House is one of the role of Speaker. Then point 2, maintain discipline in the Lok Sabha. The Speaker maintains discipline in the House and if any member disrupts or try to disrupt the proceedings of the House, the Speaker can warn them or can ask them to leave the House. Know that Speaker can even suspend a member from the House whom Speaker finds guilty of violating discipline and decorum. This ensures smooth functioning of Lok Sabha. Then point 3, fix the agenda of the House. The Speaker, in consultation with other members of the Business Committee of House and the Prime Minister, fixes the agenda of the meeting of the House. This ensures timely debates and discussions on important issues of the country. Point 4, permission to ask questions. Each member of the House can put questions to ministers. The permission of the Speaker is required for this purpose. This helps the Speaker to prevent unnecessary and politically motivated questions while ensuring discussion on the important questions. Then point 5, conduct the business of House. The Speaker conducts the business of House. He or she allows, that is the Speaker allows the members to introduce the bills or to move motions. The Speaker then recognizes the members on the floor of the House and gives them time for speaking in the House. Speaker then fixes time limit for the debates in the House and puts matters to vote and announces the result. Know that Speaker can warn the members against the use of unparliamentary language and can order the same to be expunged from the records. Point 6 is interpretation of rules of procedure. The business of the House is conducted according to settled rules of procedure. In case of any disputes regarding the rules of the House, the Speaker interprets and applies these rules. The interpretation of rules made by Speaker is final and know that they cannot be challenged. Point 7 is the power to adjourn the House. The Speaker can adjourn the meetings of the House if the quorum of the House is not complete, or if conducting the business of the House is not possible due to disorderly behavior of its members. Then another important function of the Speaker is with respect to decision about the money bill. If a dispute arises over the question as to whether a bill is a money bill or not, the decision of the Speaker is final and it cannot be even challenged inside or outside the House. Then another important function is with respect to casting vote. The Speaker does not participate in the debate and discussions of the House. They even do not take part in voting on bills. Although as a member, the Speaker has the right to vote, and in case of a tie over any bill, the Speaker exercises his or her casting vote, thereby contributing to important legislations. Then point number 10, protects the privilege of members of the House. See, the members of the House enjoy several privileges which are protected by the Speaker. Here, the Speaker acts as the guardian of the privilege of MPs and the House as a whole. Point 11, role regarding the committees of the House. The Speaker plays an important role in the composition of the committee, and know that Speaker is also ex officio chairperson of some of the important committees like General Purpose Committee, Rules Committee and Business Advisory Committee. Thus, the Speaker plays the crucial role of ensuring that Parliament carries forward its role of legislation peacefully by maintaining harmony in the Houses of Parliament. The Speaker is thus considered as the true guardian of Indian parliamentary democracy, holding the complete authority of Lok Sabha. So that is all about the functions and roles of the speaker. So with this, let us close this topic and move to the next topic. Fifth topic, PM hails fight against drugs, says a record 10 lakh kg destroyed. Recently, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India had created a unique record of destroying 10 lakh kg of drugs in past year. And just about 2 weeks ago, nearly 1.5 lakh kg of drugs were seized and destroyed. Now let us know what are the challenges in curbing drug usage. First is India's geographic location. A major factor making India vulnerable to drug trafficking and consequent drug usage is its geographical location. See, India lies in close proximity to major opium producing regions of Southwest and Southeast Asia. They are also known as Golden Crescent region and Golden Triangle region. You can see it from the picture given here. This makes India vulnerable to transit, trafficking and consumption of opium derivatives in various forms along the known trafficking routes. The second factor is legal availability of gateway drugs. Drugs such as tobacco, bhang are legally available in India. Also, the tobacco is an experiment for many drug users at their initial stage or during the childhood itself. Later, they gradually progress to other drugs such as alcohol, heroin, cocaine, etc. Then, high youth population is one of the challenge. Currently, India has large young population with disposable income. With their willingness to take risks, the availability of drugs create a drug addiction. Then there is a challenge of misuse of provision of NDPS Act. We will deal with this act in the later part of the discussion. First, let us know about the challenge associated with this act. Instead of going behind drugs of commercial quantities, the officials focus more on small quantities. Even though the law provides certain safety measures to drug users, it is now becoming routine to arrest those suspected of drug consumption. This creates three major issues. First is continuous prevalence of small quantity drugs, then wastage of huge manpower and state finances because of investigations, interrogations, prosecutions and all. Then third point is that arrest on mere suspicion of drug consumption leads to creates overcrowding in prisons. Apart from that, the government authorities also use this Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances Act to snoop into people's phone and look at their messages. This is a breach of privacy, right? So these are the challenges which are associated with the act, with the drug menace. Now let us see the NDPS Act. See, Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances Act was passed in the year 1985 to tackle the problem of illegal drugs in the country. The act establishes Narcotics Control Bureau as the apex drug law enforcement agency, and this act empowers this institution to oversee the implementation of NDPS Act. And this bureau also oversees other international conventions related to drugs. Know that this act prohibits production, sale, purchase, transport and consumption of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances. Know that the act extends to the whole of India and also in aircraft and ships that are registered in India. See, the NDPS Act has been amended thrice, and the original act provided no immunity to drug addicts and there were no real difference in treatment of users and the dealers. But the act, when it got amended in the year 2001, the act became more tolerant and provided a distinction between drug users and drug dealers. The amendment was undertaken to focus on bigger fish, that is those who smuggled the drugs and facilitated its trade. The objective of the amendment was to stop thinking of drug users as hardened criminals, which they rarely are. Then the act also provides for punishment and rehabilitation. The act prescribes quantity-based punishment. That is, this act differentiates between small and commercial quantities of various drugs. And know that NDPS Act provides harsh sentences for those convicted of offences involving smuggling. It even provides for death penalty in some cases where a person is a repeated offender. But the same law also provides for immunity from prosecution to those who are dependent on drugs. By the way, it also provides the setting up of treatment facilities for addicts. Now let us see the other steps taken by Indian government to control drugs. First is Seizure Information Management System. Narcotics Control Bureau has developed the SIMS platform. It contains complete online database of drug offences and offenders. Then second one is regarding Narco Coordination Center, which is called NCOD. The Ministry of Home Affairs constituted NCOD in 2016. It is a mechanism to conduct regular meetings with various state agencies and central government and facilitate coordination between them. Know that in the year 2019, NCOD system has been restructured into 4-tier up to the district level. Next is the Joint Coordination Committee. To monitor the investigation of large seizure cases, a Joint Coordination Committee with the Director General and Narcotics Control Bureau as its chairman has been set up by the government in the year 2019. Then if we take India's international collaboration to control the drug usage, know that India is a signatory to UN Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs 1961. Then it is also signatory to the Convention of Psychotropic Substances, then Convention of Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances 1988. As a part of international collaboration and cooperation, India has signed 26 bilateral agreements and 15 MOUs, and it also has 2 agreements on security cooperation with different countries. This is done to combat illicit trafficking of NDPS and chemical precursors. Apart from that, the NCB also coordinates with various international organizations such as United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, then International Narcotics Control Board, etc. for sharing information and intelligence to combat transnational drug trafficking. These are few steps which are taken by the government to prevent the usage of drugs in India. So from this article, we saw about the challenges related to drug menace and also about the NDPS Act. With this, let us close this topic and move to the previous year prelims questions discussion. Now coming to the previous year prelims question, consider the first question. With reference to Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, consider the following statements. The statements given are: Statement 1, AIIB has more than 80 member nations. Second statement, India is the largest shareholder in AIIB. Third statement, AIIB does not have any members from outside Asia. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? The options given are option A, 1 only, option B, 2 and 3 only, option C, 1 and 3 only, option D, 1, 2 and 3. The first statement given here is correct, but the third statement which is saying AIIB does not have any members from outside Asia is wrong, because AIIB is a multilateral development bank with a mission to improve social and economic outcomes in Asia and beyond. So the third statement is wrong. If we remove the third statement alone, only option A, 1 only is the right one. And know that China holds 26.6 voting shares, which is being the largest, while India is the second largest shareholder in AIIB. So the correct answer for this question is option A, 1 only. Now moving to the second question. In India, extended producer responsibility was introduced as an important feature in which of the following? The options given are option A, the biomedical waste rules, option B, the recycled plastic rules, option C, the e-waste management and handling rules, the option D, food safety and standards regulation of 2011. This is a fact-based question. The correct answer for this question is option C, e-waste management rules. See, the extended producer responsibility is a main feature of e-waste management rules, which says the producer of electrical and electronic equipments has the responsibility of managing such equipments after the end of life. So by this way, the producer is responsible for their products once the consumers discards them. So the answer is e-waste management rules of 2011. So with this, we have come to the end of news articles and previous year questions discussion. With this, let us wind up our discussion. If you like the method of teaching and if you can understand the concepts well, please give like, share, comment and subscribe to ForumIAS channel in various social media platforms for further update. Thank you for listening.